We're on the stage of the RCHS Theater, Richland Center High School Theater, and these two guys are going to talk about Little Shop of Horrors. We have Cam Cormican, who's the director, and Michael, who built these fantastic, scary, what's the guy's name again?
Audrey Toohey?
Is Audrey hungry?
Audrey's always hungry.
That's scary. You know, at your own risk. That's really cool. You built, wow.
So this will be magnetically connected to the performer on suspenders so that he doesn't have to have it. And then there'll be a fake arm to make do for the performer's real arm, which is inside the puppet.
Oh. Who's the performer?
That would be
David Van
Seymour,
Halgren.
David Van Halgren.
Oh, yes. He's in the famous trailer. Mm-hmm. He's Seymour, who works at the flower shop, plant shop. And what, is there a little tiny version of that before?
There is a smaller version.
Now, is there a huge version?
Not yet.
Oh, that's going to be scary. Is that kind of like
That
6
starts
feet?
tomorrow, probably.
Because we don't have a Ryan,
And both these are essentially sock puppets.
I say we work on Beast first before Slick, only because
It has the more screen time, well, stage time.
that and we don't, the Ryan being the puppeteer won't
Yes.
be here to operate,
Yes.
whereas.
What else do we have here?
Plants.
Plants.
Lots of plants.
Lots.
Lots
plants.
and lots of
What?
artificial plants.
Some of them look like last summer's production.
And,
Some of them might be from last summer's production.
probably antique dentist chair.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Various things that'll go into set building. And right now, the racks are rough approximation of the walls of, what the walls of the set will be.
Okay.
Just to kind of give us a visual until the walls go up. But our trailer is out back, so it should be as simple as pulling out the walls once we've built our small little platform.
Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of
Yes.
July. And you
So
guys
we
finally
have-
got here, what, yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday. So is today the 2nd? Today is the
Yeah,
2nd. So
yeah.
yesterday. So we've got 3 weeks to go from 0 to 60.
Three, count them, 3.
Yep. 3 weeks. Of
I was moving that out of the way to get this shit.
Legoing together the set. Most of the pieces are already here, and we just have to pull them all out, screw them all together. And so
So
I
like
think,
one long day, you can get a lot done.
I think we'll have 2 long work days, and we'll be 90% of the way there, as long as I keep up on building the puppets. That's gonna be a little bit every single day until we're there.
That look about, I
Yeah,
think that's
for that
about-
being the window,
yeah.
yeah.
I was just getting this moved to be a little more accurate. is what I was-
Geometry a little bit better here, just
Yeah.
for our visual spacing and blocking.
Yep. Oh, and a space between these for the door.
Between these two.
Yeah.
So there's basically one set,
Yes,
and that's the,
there's an inside and an outside to it, because we've got an alley and the street skid row.
what do you do, spin it around?
No, the.
No, he
street-
says.
The skid row will kind of only be visible through the giant bay window, which is right here,
Oh, you told me that before.
and out
right?
onto the street, and the alley will be out front. So
Yeah.
we'll bring the dentist's office out to the front.
Yeah,
We'll bring it, slide it back, and there will be some other set pieces. So there'll be a few, what we call swivel platforms that have kind of 2 sides to them.
Also sometimes called wagons.
Wagons.
wagons, yes, wagons, yep.
And so, yeah.
And right about here is where the giant plant will sit, approximately.
Yep. And so, like, if you kind of picture it, there's gonna be like a rack here that'll have
Kind of a-
various plant things on it.
And a work table right here.
Actually, I have work table
Or is
more.
it over here?
Right here. Right here was gonna be the coat rack.
Okay.
And so, yeah, here for the plant. And then we'll have the front counter with the register is gonna be right about here. Well, maybe back a little bit, but. So, and then this whole thing theoretically is gonna be on a platform, which.
It's only, 4 inches tall,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, just to make a visual separation. Because the performers are imagining that this is a wall. And then once you cross off the platform, you're out on Skid Row over here. And there's gonna be a lot of, singing and performing out in front here. And then a couple of moments, especially when we need to do some scene changes, we're gonna close the curtain because at one point the flower shop needs to be renovated, which will be a few little scene changes. And there's some acting out front of the curtain while we're doing that. And that's when the second plan will be put in place. Second plan will be there for that half of Act 1. Then Act 2, we replace that plant with the bigger one, which is gonna be like yay tall. Wouldn't you say probably about 6 feet tall for the final?
6 to 8,
Yeah.
generally.
The script says it should take up a third of the stage. I don't know
Well,
if we're gonna do that
no.
much.
So what are you gonna do to suggest a
So
street?
here's your top jaw.
And that's for the final one, right? Or is that for
That's
slick?
4. That's pod 4.
Yeah.
And that's most of the top jaw. There's a little bit more that'll come out behind.
But that's basically like a template, so we know where we're gonna put like PVC piping and all that stuff for the skeleton.
That's a big jaw.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, it has to be big enough to eat a person whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then unlike most sets, this would go further out and it'd be an angle like we have on that side. But this one, it's gonna be side on, just the perpendicular, because there will be performing over in here a little bit. Oh, and Mike, now that we have this kind of geometry set up, you can have a little better of an idea of where you can be backstage, so you can have a good view of the plant.
That's gonna be tricky, isn't it?
I mean, this will probably only go halfway through on this, probably to like here. So
I still can't see her.
if I were to go like so,
Now
that
I
would
can
be
see
about
her.
it. Okay? Well, then we'll have to find a better place. No,
You're not gonna fight or anything, are you?
no.
Oh, okay. shoot.
No, we're just trying to figure out the geometry of it. Just because I have to be within line of sight of the puppet, otherwise I can't compensate for what I'm seeing on stage for the puppet doing.
Right.
It's a little, like
You
I
kinda have to
technically
see the
don't-
stage.
Technically, they need to coordinate with me more than I need to coordinate with them, but there has to be a little bit of unspoken communication
Actually,
going
I
on.
think if you're right up against this curtain, as far forward as you can be, you probably will be able to barely have line of sight on the
And
plant.
that's what I was thinking too.
And then when people have entrances, they'll just have to
They'll
make
have to
sure
come in through there.
through that side, which, I mean, whoop-de-doo, right?
Exactly.
Problem solving, that's theater for you, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
No. This one we're gonna have to just eat it.
Oh, that's gonna be just one of the.
Might as well,
one
don't
of the
go to
body-
waste, right?
Sure.
Should never waste hands.
No.
Which one looks better? They look,
Quickly in 24 hours for the parade? Not quickly. 72 hours of dry time, still needs sanding and refinish, and then it'll get painted.
Hey, Mike, would you give me a hand?
that's, yeah.
Actually, it has good structure. It feels like a hand. You feel that?
It's posable.
Oh my God. It's even better. And that's not gonna put cracks into the foam
No,
clay?
it's foam clay. Yeah, there's broken dowels, so one. Then they're wrapped in aluminum foil, and then that was shoved inside of a rubber glove with a piece of foam core for the palm piece, and channels cut into it so that the fingers would slot into it. And so, yeah, I just need a little bit of sanding and some carving of lines and a paint job, and it will look 10 million times better than the dentist's hand doesn't look so hot.
Poor dentist.
Hero! Food.
But a hero is food.
Well, not yet, don't wanna get.
You know, if that, you could actually turn that around so we could get almost a visual of how far out front into the stage it's gonna be. And like, I vote actually keep it in place during rehearsal, that way people can have a bit of a visual.
Make it be the placemat for,
And that way people will know, you know, for their blocking, they'll know where actually they're gonna be acting around. You know?
this is the backpack for Slick. And
Over here.
that one's for the Beast. This one has a built-in belt, because that one has a built-in seat belt that'll go with that stool. That'll get clamped down to a different sliding caster.
Excuse
And
me.
if I'm not
Must
mistaken,
be
we're
the
gonna have
plants.
basically 2 blocks for Matt basically to stand on.
He'll be on the equivalent of standing saddle.
Yeah. But then with space, so that when people get eaten, they can slide.
Yep, just enough leg width for people to go down in between his legs. Well, they're gonna get eaten by the plant, so they gotta go down the gullet
And
and slide out behind it.
as far as I know, I think Glenn would be the biggest meal.
Yep,
And so his size will be the basis on,
how big it has to be.
yeah.
Yeah, and I already have kind of an eyeball on that. What's that?
What is that? Oh.
It just broke off.
So tonight you have a
That's right, 'cause we're not
rehearsal.
using it anyway.
Yeah, tonight we're rehearsing Act 2.
What time?
I'll be here around 6.
And I'll be back here about the same time. I guess that's moot. These are old.
I'm glad you found them. I saw your Facebook where you were looking for old frame
Yeah.
backpacks.
Yep, a couple of my colleagues from River Valley Schools came through.
And by the way, my mom saw the trailer today. She's delighted. You saw it, right, Mike?
I did.
I just have to add music. I had music on one of the versions. I don't know what happened to it, but I do need that PDF.
Yeah, well, would it help if I emailed it to you?
Yes, because if it's on my phone, it's kind of trapped. But anyway,
Okay.
that
Okay.
concludes today's ramblings. Thank you for your attention. We'll get back probably tomorrow.